Hey guys, what's going on? It's Beck and Cal here, and welcome back to Road to Mythic Episode 1. I did record this one yesterday as a live stream, but my mic failed to pick up, so I'm doing it again. No problems there, because, the games didn't go too well anyway. So, today I'll be using Gruul Aggro, or my take on it. It's basically Javier Dominguez's deck from the Mythic Championship 5, which he used to win. That was when Golos was in the format, which it worked pretty well against. But it's still very effective now. I've got 2 less Stomping Grounds, just because I don't want to spend a rare wild cards finishing the mana base when I can build other decks for more content. So this deck's really aggressive. It's got nice counters with Collision Colossus for flyers, Cruel Harpooner for flyers, Bone Crusher Giants for the smaller creatures, Questing Beast for planeswalkers such as, Oko, Nissa. Then in my sideboard, I play Red Cat Melee, 2 Shocks, a Veil of Summer for the more control-y Oko decks, your Azorius control. Then Lava Coil for the bigger 4 toughness creatures, such as Wicked Wolf and, well, even Mayhem Devil it kills, which I know has 3 toughness, but just to exile that, get it off the battlefield. Domri's Ambush, that's for the, once again, planeswalkers and upper decks with bigger creatures with more loyalty. It's just a nice removal spell for 2. Buffs up my creatures as well. It's not fight, so my creatures won't have a trade if it's got equal power. Lovestruck Beast, this is nice against other aggressive decks like Mono Red, and also it's quite good in the mirror. Thrashing Brondstorm, this is mainly for Black Red, where it's playing Witch's Oven, so just play out, sack that. Also, it does work well against Mono Red as well, and Cavalcade of Calamity. Okay, and in we go into game number 1. I'll probably try and get 2 games done this episode, whereas although if this game lasts a little bit longer, maybe we'll have one, split it into 2 episodes. So this hand's looking good. I've got the 3 mana. I've got 2 Once Upon a Times, which I could use to get a Pelt Collector. Okay, so this is that black-red sacrifice deck which I was talking about in sideboarding. Game 1, this is really about how aggressive my hands can be. At the moment, it's not looking like it's going to go that way, which is kind of tight. I'm going to get Skarg and Hellkite for the late game, and I'll play the Forest. He knows I'm playing green. I don't want to reveal too much to him because he could think I'm playing an Oko variant. So if I don't play the red source until it's absolutely necessary, just to give him as little information about my deck as possible. So here, maybe I'm expecting him to play. Well, I am expecting him to play a priest, maybe Witch's Oven, and a Cauldron's Familiar, maybe. But I do have his Bone Crusher Giant, which I can shock one of his creatures. Okay, Order of Midnight. So what I will do actually is I will play this red source, and I am just going to get rid of the Order of Midnight. It's flying, so it gets above my creatures, and also if I get rid of a Gutter Bones instead, he can bring it back to my hand if I ever lose life. It might be that he has 2 Order of Midnights in his hand, which is why he can afford to play them. Okay, this is likely that he's just drawn Knight of the Ebon Legion now, which means that he's probably top decking for these better creatures. This is a tough one here though, because what I might try and do, if he's top decking these smaller creatures, he's probably got the larger creatures at hand, and also he might be stuck on red. So if I just get rid of his Knight of the Legion, stop that from going off, and then next turn I can focus on building my board presence, playing these Bone Crusher Giants, because I don't really want to expose many cards from my hand. Okay, he swings in for 5. There's the Priest of Forgotten Gods. I will play this. Okay, So let's just block like this. I can't really afford, when I've got this hand with this many big creatures in, I can't really afford to losing creatures. We're just going to need to keep playing blockers here. Because next turn, if I play no blockers and just maybe go for a stall and go for Once Upon a Time, then there's always the chance that... Okay, so he gets his 2 mana. And then also what he'll be able to do is swing in with one of the priests. Okay. Okay, so in this situation here, yeah, so sorry about that. So in this one here, okay, so he's just going to sack. This isn't looking good for me right now, I have to admit. But game 1 against these decks never usually goes as well as it should. There we go, Rankle, he swings in for lethal. Let's go to game number 2. Not the perfect start we wanted, but it's always possible against these decks to come back. So although he just played Rankle with flying, Cruel Harpooner isn't so necessary. What I will do is I'll bring in the Lava Coils, and then with Bone Crusher I just take 2 out, put 2 shocks in. Veil of Summer can be nice. In fact, I'll drop down on 2 more to put the Veils of Summer in, just so when he's getting those priest sack abilities in, the priest triggers, I'll be able to block him from targeting it, so he'll essentially sack 2 creatures and it won't target anything. There's only 2, but there's a good chance that I could draw them to protect against. This time I will be on the play though, which is it is a big benefit. In the sideboard, what he's probably got is Noxious Grasps, which he can use to get rid of most of my creatures. Okay, this is a good key. So if I start off by Once Upon a Time, before I play anything, like even lands, because I could just get 5 lands on the top, at which point I'd want to play the one which he's seen. Okay, this is nice. So what I can do is I can get Pelt Collector. And then I can Pelt Collector into Zootar Goblin. Actually, maybe Paradise Druid. It depends on what his play is. If he plays... If he plays a tap 2 one, then I'll probably go with a Paradise Druid play. Yes, I'll go with this one, because then when he's untapped, I'll be able to swing in with Pelt Collector as well, because he'll have a free toughness. Because obviously if I play Zootar, give it a +1/+1 counter, then Paradise Druid will no longer trigger on it. So let's just actually... Yeah, let's Once Upon a Time, see what I can find. Questing Beast, that's really nice in this situation. And then I will Zootar Goblin. Give it the counter. Then Pelt Collector goes out of range. He might have a Black Lace Paragon. Yeah, there's the Black Lace Paragon. Even so, if he chooses to block and trade... See, that's a weird one for me. If I was him, I would have targeted the Gutter Bones with it. But then, I mean, it's his decision really, isn't it? Because he could get the recursion on the Gutter Bones, keep the free one. It gives it Death Touch. Yeah, it's an odd decision from him. And also now my Questing Beast, which is already seen in my hand, can just get around that, whereas the Paragon could have blocked it. So if he maybe had a second one in hand, he could have given that the ability. Okay. So I need to be careful here because, so to block the Zutar Goblin, there's the Paragon. There's the second Paragon in hand, which that's nice for him. See, this is a rough one for me because he's had the counters to my card, and there's the Priest. It's like, this couldn't be going much worse at the moment, and I've drawn 6 lands, 7 lands. At the moment, board-wise, it's okay. He's obviously got the card draw here. It would be killing him, but then it's like, that's the price he, like, I would feasibly want to do that in his situation. Maybe also, I think in here he's just going to Knight of Legion, swing in, get the 4 damage, counter on, and I think that puts me on a 5-turn clock. It's also possible he maybe has cards like Murderous Rider in hand, which he could use to target Zutar Goblin. Noxious Grasp is another possibility, because he did just hover over Zutar just to make sure. Yeah, no blocks. I've got to kind of let that go through. I think. Okay, this is really not what I want here. Magic Arena is not being kind right now. So I will swing in with this guy. I'll just block the Knight of the Ebon Legion with a Paradise Druid next turn. Because I think 5 damage at this point, I mean, it's pretty unrecoverable. There's Rankle. Okay, I mean, this guy's got a perfect. So I'm going to block here. He's going to hit and Zutar. It's not looking great, I have to admit. He's probably going to choose. He should play a discards a card. Well, I mean, I'll happily say goodbye to the forest. You can get recursion on that. This is a GG. Alright, well, first game doesn't go so well. I'm not sure whether I'll get relegated. Yeah, I'm down to gold tier 3. That's fine though, we can come back from this. So this guy's gone. Okay. We are on a draw here, we've got 4 lands. We can play Pelt Collector and Questing Beast. So he's mulliganed twice, so he's down to 5, which is really nice for us. Hopefully it's a more difficult decision. Okay. Oh, so he's stuck on 1 land actually currently. So next turn. So Questing Beast. Next turn we'll put him down to. So he's drawn a card which he can play. Maybe it's Knight of the Evolution. Okay, no, he's just gonna concede, which is fair enough from him. That's just lucky for me that he's gone down to 5 and kept a 1 lander, not got any lands. But then again, it swings and roundabouts really, because last game I had the same predicament. So just from black, I'm expecting he's going to have a lot of low power low toughness creatures. So maybe actually a Domri's Ambush, because it's, and take a Skargan Hellkite and put one of these in. I expect that'll work. So I've put the shocks in just for the low toughness creatures, and then Domri's Ambush if he's playing a different variant with some higher toughness, higher power creatures. Maybe even a Liliana or two, which I could kill. Okay, well this is a hand quite like last time. He's kept it this time, which shows that he's probably got more than one land. Okay, so this is a black-red. There's our Domri's Ambush. Once again, we're stuck on red mana. Okay. No blocks. That's double the mana he had last game. So maybe it's a priest that's going to come down here. At which point I hope I can get a red mana. So 5 cards in hand. I'd expect him to have probably at least one other mana source, maybe a Mayhem Devil. I don't think he has his Witch's Oven yet. Yeah, there's the priest. So what he's probably going to try and do. Yeah. So he wants to get some sacks off next turn. I can't let him do that. Like, that's just too much. Alright, Mayhem Devil. Okay. Mayhem Devil just works so well against this deck. Like, I will just... If he wants to block it, then he can. Also, I'm leaving the Spellbreaker up. Okay, there's another Mayhem Devil. But the thing is, he will have to 2-for-1 my creatures. And hopefully he has a hand similar to mine at the moment, with no real... Okay. So at the moment I could go wide around him. Okay, there we go, that's an easy game 2. So I think we will actually be able to fit 3 games in. I'm kind of in the flow of things, we're 1-1 at the moment. Let's keep the momentum going. Okay, and into game number 3 we go, up against Suli over there. So Jace, so he might be playing a blue deck. Okay, being on the plate, this is a really nice hand. And he's mulliganed as well, that's nice. So start off with a Once Upon a Time. Gruul Spellbreaker is really nice. So I can just play out Pelt Collector, then Paralyzed Druid, then Gruul Spellbreaker. Not really relying on my draws. Okay, so as expected, a blue deck. Okay, let's play 2 life for a stomping ground, and I will play Gruul Spellbreaker here. I want to keep my Paralyzed Druid tapped. So a 2 mana. So he's having to play. So because he does have a spell in his hand which he can play, which could be a shock, and therefore I don't want to play the Paralyzed Druid. Brineborn Cutthroat. See, so now I'm happy I didn't play this attack for Paralyzed Druid because that would have sucked. Okay, a more flashy kind of deck. Okay. Questing Beast here is nice. He might have Ionize. Yeah, there's the Ionize. He gets to counter. Okay, now just swinging with Gruul Spellbreaker. Okay. I will just keep playing these spells. So he's got 4 mana, so can't quite remember with these splash decks what they played. There's Frilled Mystic, but he doesn't have that second green source. Ionize. There we go. Just all attack. If he blocks the Paradise Druid, then he's going to take 2 damage anyway. Well, he's going to be left on 2. So next turn he's going to have to play 3 creatures. He's going to have 3 creatures on the battlefield. Because I'm just going to play this Gruul Spellbreaker. Cutthroat. Does he have a second? Okay, alright. So that's nice from him. He's kind of stabilised on 2 there. Okay. No attacks. I mean, 3 by Brine Born Cutthroats here is just, I mean, it's not what we like to see. He does have a lethal swing next turn. Okay. Let's see. He's got... So he's only got 2 cards in hand. So this second Skargan and Hellkite, 3 cards. So if one of those isn't a counter, he's already used 4 counters. He's probably got... Okay. Play Skargan and Hellkite. Give it haste. Shock, okay. No attacks here. So what I'm expecting him to do next turn. Okay. Let's see if he has a counter. There we go, after all that, the stomp from Bone Crusher Giant gets the win. What a top deck. So, the Cruel Harpooners I will bin for the Veil of Summers. Collision Colossus is nice because it deals with flying creatures. I know I got rid of the Cruel Harpooners, but they're more of a... but I needed to get those Veil of Summers in for something. Skargan Hellkite's nice, it gets over the top. Late game when he's lower on counter spells I can go down, because he, as much as Skargan Hellkite did die, it was a 2-for-1, so the guy had to, so which gave me a lot more hand information and inevitably led to me getting the win. Yeah, that looks good. Let's go. So winning our first game 3, or match 3, was nice. Yeah, this is very nice here. There's that. So I'm assuming he has a shock in hand. If he does, I mean, he can happily. Then it's going to be a Pelt Collector. Maybe Quench. Brine will Cutthroat. Okay. See, here's nice, because what I'll do is I'll just play the Mountain into the Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, so he's probably that's probably his last card in hand. Or he might have a green spell which he wants to play next turn. So what I will actually do is I will stomp this guy. And if he has a counter spell, response. I will damage this. I will put it on the top, just because I do have the Skargan Hellkite in hand. So 2 cards in hand, getting rid of that. Okay. Maybe Quench. Yeah, there's the Quench. But he's down to 1 card in hand, and my hand is looking pretty strong at the moment. Okay. So, what can this guy do? So, this is 4, so that's not what's holding him up. Maybe he has a creature to flash in. Yeah, there's Nightpack Ambusher. Okay. So, I think the play here is to full swing in with Questing Beast, because he didn't have a counter next turn, or else he would probably have countered my Questing Beast just to keep getting me down, rather than playing this Nightpack Ambusher. Brazen Borrower. Yeah, I will happily resolve that. Give this guy the +1/+1 counter. Go to his turn. So he does have the Brazen Borrower, which he can play and block this. Oh, he's got 2 Brazen Borrowers. Of course he does. So here I will play Questing Beast. He's got more removal for me. It's going to go badly. Next blockers. Okay. That is fine. Let's go to damage. Maybe this guy has a shock or something. He's got... yeah, okay. That sucks. Absorb the shock. Next to damage. End turn. Not much more I can do here. Slashes in there, yeah. So it needs to be open to 6. Why I'm trying this Questing Beast is because it's... however, I think this guy gets to win. He swings in, he can go 3 wide, yeah, 4 wide, he's got this win. Good on him for this one. So I think it was actually a poor decision bringing the Veil of Summers in, the Gruul Harpooners. What I will actually do though is I'll drop 2 of the Bone Crusher Giants for Lava Coil, and then I'll drop the other 2 for Shocks. And then the rest is nice. I can't fault the rest. I haven't really played much against this. Well, I can't actually remember at all ever play against this red-blue deck, so, or at least a different variant of it. So this is my first time kind of sideboarding and getting the hang of it. With a second or third time, it will probably become more of an easy board. I'll keep this. Like, I've got a shock. Okay. So maybe once upon a time, yeah, because I saw he had to auto-resolve and auto-pass. So 101. Okay, so it's got to land. Okay, so we'll have a shock in hand. So what I could do, get this, +1/+1 counter, so it lives through the shock. If this guy really wants to shock me, he can go for it. Or red cat melee. That's nice. See, that leaves me with no creatures in hand. Oh, I'll get this. Nice. Quench here is rough. Maybe he does have a shock as well in hand. Brian will come for it. Okay, there we go. Okay. So what I will do here is I'll go to Lava Coil, the Cutthroat. You can choose to ionize it, at which point I will shock the Cutthroat. Ionize does still do 2 damage to me, but I end up getting in for free, so I still get a 1 point life difference that turn. 4 mana. It's hard to tell what he's got in hand. Maybe a Brazen Burrower. Or a Giant. Deals 2 damage to it. Dust. Do I want to put that on top? No, I will decline that because I need the land for the Hellkite. Okay. It's got 3 cards in hand. Dust. I will take action actually because that's probably one of the best cards I can have right now. He doesn't actually have a proper counter, or else he would have. Okay. So he's probably drawn a Fabled Passage off the top. Getting a second land for the wall. So let's just go into combat. Swing with this. And then next turn. So he has nothing really to counter. Alright, so he's got a Mystic. He is still on a 2-turn clock though. So I can just put the Pelt Collector. And I can put the Zootar Goblin in, give it the counter. And I'll swing Skargan Hellkite. What can he do here? Attack Ambusher. That's fine. So next turn he can, if he can deal with my Pelt Collector, he gets to win. However, Okay, there's the win, and we finish off game number 3 of a win, going 2-1 in total today. Let's see if we can get a pack to round off the episode number 1 actually. Number 1 take 2 packs actually. So go to his store, packs, like I said in my previous video, here's a replica pack. Right, I will open the Throne of Eldraine pack first. I'll get a rev, well, wild card, whatever happens. Okay, Blackface Paragon, it's always nice. Alright, what do I get for this? Expansion Explosion, that could be nice. Well, so that's been it for the episode. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll be back for episode 2 tomorrow. Goodbye.